All of you, please stand up and look to me. Let me tell you another story. And don't let this story or this man that I'm going to describe be a judge. Let him not be a judge. Take note of what you are hearing. Examine yourself. I've told you the story before. I tell you again. A number of years ago, 15 years ago or so, 20 years ago, I was driving from Calabar down to Lagos, all alone, in my Passat car. And I was on the Ikot highway. And then at a point, I saw a local market and pulled up, entered the market, bought unripe plantain, put into my boot, and then drove off. Soon after leaving that place, on that road, before me I saw a man standing by the roadside. He was not well dressed. I knew that he was wanting to board one of the local vehicles. He just came from the farm. But something told me to stop and carry him. So I pulled up by the man and I told him to enter the vehicle. And he entered the vehicle. And then where are you going? He said, I'm going to the next village. Then I was thinking in my mind, why did I carry this man? I do not know this man. Then I asked the man a question. Do you go to church? Did you go to school? This man barely went to primary school. I said, what did they tell you about the spirit of man? Does man have a spirit? Is anybody listening to me? The man said, nothing like spirit of man. Then the man threw a question at me and said, if you deflate a tube, where does the air go? I said the air disappears into the air. He said that is how it is. And was so assured. Then I said to him, now, have you not heard that the first martyr, Stephen, while they were stoning him to death, he knelt down and said, while we were discussing, I was driving, he knelt down and said, Father, let not this sin to their charge. Jesus, receive my spirit. If there is nothing that should be received, why should somebody filled with the Holy Ghost make that kind of prayer? He didn't have an answer. I said, again, why did Jesus Christ, when he was about to die in the cross of Calvary, I was here driving. And then he said, Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. If there is nothing that is going to go out, why did he say that? He kept quiet. And then I said, what about the apostle that said, the time of my departure is at hand? If there is nothing that is going somewhere, if a plane departs a location, it arrives another location. So if you use the word departure, it means that he's going somewhere. The man didn't have an answer. Then I said to him, I now know why I gave you this right. It is that you may hear this truth and come out from there. And before we finished, we had reached the village, and I pulled up, and he went out. The man heard tenaciously. Now there shall be the judge of many people that hear truth and reject it. They get error, they stand by it. And somebody hears truth and throws it away. Instead of saying, Lord, thank you for the privilege of hearing truth. I get myself engrossed in this truth. I will run with it. Look at the people that want to have a marry 7 virgins in paradise and committing heinous crimes. And they believe in what they are doing. And get the women and mess them up and believe in what they are doing. And run with it. And Christian people are looking for compromising. Their so-called ministers and elders are looking for convenience and looking for money. These people are their judges. They are not on their way to heaven. Take your time. You have heard the truth about the watchman who is on the side of the Lord, given the circumstance of the day, and who is on the side of the vision. It is time to pray. It's time for decision. It's not a time of speaking in tongues. You can speak in tongues in prayer to help yourself or to develop faith. But it is a time to say, I receive the truth, no more, no less. I go with it. This is what I have been safeguarded to prosecute. And my hand is on the deck. Close your eyes and pray.
Great news! The God of heaven brings ENUGU State to the hilltop proper in a divine visitation that will turn around the fortunes of the land of ENUGU and the people. Experience it yourself. It will happen live at Okmara Square, Independence Layout, ENUGU from Thursday 12th to Sunday 15th April 2018. Time 3 p.m. daily. There will be free transportation from different parts of ENUGU metropolis. God's instrument for this visitation is the voice of the last days ministry. Watchman Catholic Charismatic Renewal Movement. Ministering is Pastor A.C. Ohanebo and a host of God's man angels. Make it a date with the Almighty. Be there with your family and friends. This event will air live on VOWTV.